everyone, good afternoon and welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. In this video I am going to be sharing with you a flip through of this beautiful book, Dark Fairy Tales by Kerby Rosanes. This has been really kindly sent to me by the publishing company Michael O'Mara Books. So I would just like to say a huge thank you to the team over there for sending me this book and giving me the opportunity to be able to share it with you before its release date. So this book is due to be released on the 27th of March 2025. So if you haven't already got your pre-orders in for this book, please do so if you don't want to miss out. Yeah, so without further ado, we will get started. So we've got this beautiful front cover, which I think is absolutely fantastic. So this is based on the fairy tale of Sleeping Beauty. I love how we've got sort of like a book down here as a base for all of the other elements. So we've got Aurora here. This would be Maleficent. And then we've got our spinning wheel here and Prince Philip there. So if we turn the back of the book over, we've got this gorgeous image here of Little Red Riding Hood. And then we have a little bit of a blurb up here about the book, which says, explore the sinister side of fairy tales with illustrator and epic storyteller Kerby Rosanes. Filled with vengeful victims, twisted enchantments and dystopian worlds, this is a fairy tale colouring book like no other. Kerby has selected his favourite foreboding stories from around the world, from the popular to the lesser known, and rendered them in their darkest forms. Prepare to be immersed in the dark magic of folklore as you bring each story to life with colour. How amazing does that sound? Oh my goodness. So, shall we have a look? Okay. So here is our title page, which is exactly the same as the front cover. The paper feels really nice and smooth with a little bit of a tooth to it. And it is printed on this white paper, which I think, you know, we're all kind of familiar with now, aren't we? With the books published by Michael O'Mara Books. Okay. So here we have our nameplate page with this really cool border around the edge with different creatures and sort of beings. Got an elephant here, a skeleton. So that is really cool. And we've got a lot of space here in the middle if you would like to test out your mediums and whatnot. I think, you know, maybe this would be a good space to do it, or you could do a really cool sort of like an ombre, you know, sort of background sort of fading into where you've got the book belongs to and Kerby's name there. That would look really good. So these pages are double-sided, so as always I wouldn't recommend alcohol markers on double-sided books unless you're prepared to sacrifice a page, you know, either side of the one you want to colour. But yeah, I would also recommend putting a few blotter sheets between your pages, just so that, you know, regardless of what mediums you're using, just so that you don't have anything that might have the potential to bleed through, you know, and maybe sort of leave marks or indentations on the next page. So here we've got our editing information, publishing details and copyright information down here. And then we've got, again, another little blurb about the book there. The frame on this one is based on Pinocchio. So we've got Monstro down here. We've got Cleo. Honest John. Or maybe that's Honest John and Gideon, maybe. Stromboli up here. There's Cleo, the fish. Jiminy Cricket. Looks like he's made out of wood as well. Looks like it's all kind of carved out of wood, doesn't it? Beautiful. And then we've got our blue fairy here. And then one of the boys that gets turned into a donkey on the island. Oh my goodness. That is so cool. And he starts off with my favourite. So we have Rapunzel as our first 2 pages here. That is so cool. I just want to have a look to see if he's given us... Yes, he has. Okay, so Kerby has given us, in the back of the book, he's given us about the fairy tales. So what I will do, if you guys don't mind me sort of flipping back and forth, what I might do is sort of tell you what I think the fairy tale is, and then we'll have a look at the back, and rather than reading all of it, I will just tell you how Kerby has twisted it to make that fairy tale his own, with, you know, with the dark, sinister twist to it. I hope that sounds okay. So, like I said, on these double page spreads, we have Rapunzel. So we've got her up in her tower here, all that gorgeous hair bellowing down there, and then we've got Mother Gothel and the prince, or Flynn Rider, climbing up her hair there. But then if we look at this page, we have got so much hair, but entwined within that we also have these brambles, these thorns, and we can see Mother Gothel here and her rescuer here. And it doesn't look like either of them are going to be getting her out of the tower anytime soon. So in Kerby's retelling, Rapunzel has been plotting her revenge and is prepared to cut her own hair off before the sorceress or the prince can reach her. They are both tangled in her writhing locks, interlaced with thorny brambles. So yeah, look, she's okay. So she's got a pair of scissors there. So she's cutting off her hair before they can reach her. That is so cool. And I just adore Kerby's style. Okay, so this one, it looks like we've got a ballerina. And then we've got sort of like a graveyard scene here behind her. But then there's dancers here, but these are kind of skeletons, but they're sort of disappearing to nothing. Unless she starts here. This is the same character and she disappears into nothing. Let's have a look. The red shoes. So this is a German fairy tale. So it's okay. It sounds like Kerby hasn't put a twist on this, but it does sound like it's quite dark already. But the ending of this is that the young girl dances and dances until she passes the church where an angel tells her she will dance until there is nothing left of her. So I think just from sort of having a really quick skim over what Kerby has written there in the back, she wears these red shoes to church and she is not supposed to. So she's told not to wear them to church, but she does for a second time. And then a curse is put on the shoes, which is making her dance and not be able to stop. So yeah, those red shoes that she's wearing, they have got a curse on them. So I would maybe have like a beautiful colour for her dress, and then maybe like red sparkly shoes, you know, maybe sort of embellish them with some glitter or some stickles to really make them stand out. And then have all of this, obviously the cemetery there in the background, that would kind of be grey. Do like a dark night sky here with maybe like a glowing moon. That would look quite cool. But yeah, really draw attention to the shoes, but have her dress be a really beautiful colour, but then everything else quite dim and dingy looking. Maybe that would look quite cool. Okay, so this is our next few pages. So we've got a girl here. She's approaching a door. Looks like she's approaching a really large door. And she's got sort of like a bunch of keys there in her hand. And then you've got sort of like a bust of a, I don't know, like a bearded gentleman up here, but it looks like he's got a scythe, I think that's called. And then over here, we've got this beautiful sort of like filigree border. It's very, very ornate. And this is sort of shaped like a keyhole. And then we've got a girl here, she's chained up. But then it looks like there's some other girls here, but they haven't been so fortunate as to survive. So this is Bluebeard. It's a French fairy tale, and in Kerby's rendition of the story, the living wife joins forces with the 6 corpse brides, and together they give Bluebeard a taste of his own medicine. And this story spreads over 4 pages. So we've got these 2 pages here. Right, okay. So here is where the 6 corpse brides and his current bride, this is where they're giving Bluebeard a taste of his own medicine. We've got lots of sort of keys and things. Can you see? Like all kind of like dotted around. So yeah, it looks like they've got him. It looks like they've got him sort of hanging in a cage, maybe over a fire. And this is just such typical Kerby artwork, which I love, because he gives us hatching to indicate sort of where our darker shadows would go. So if, like me, you struggle with light sources and things like that, I think, you know, where Kerby puts his hatching, and sort of sometimes it's more closer together and a bit more dense, so that is where you would put your darker shadows, kind of like he has here on his cloak. So I just find that really, really helpful, and also it just adds a really beautiful texture to Kerby's work, which I find really enjoyable. Okay, so here it looks like we have Peter Pan. We've got Peter Pan and Tinkerbell, and then Wendy, John, Michael. I don't know if this is Peter, I'm not sure. And then we've got TikTok. We've got our great big crocodile here. We've got Captain Hook. Wow. Okay, so if we take a closer look here, Tinkerbell is pulling out an eye, which, ew, but also really, really cool. Obviously he's got his hook here on this hand, but look, Peter has now cut off his other hand as well. Well, that got dark. So in this one, Kerby's Neverland shows a single-minded Peter and his disregard for the darling children and the lost boys. His desire to stay young forever puts the children in danger, but he is too engrossed in fighting Captain Hook and the crocodile to notice their soulless eyes. So yeah, that's about right for these pages, isn't it? gorgeous. I'm not sure about this one. Who's this? Okay, this is Sinbad the Sailor on this one. So it looks like he's attached to the front of a ship. And we've got all these sort of like creatures and things surrounding him, all these different beasties, and you know, we've got a skeleton pirate there, got a whale down here. So with this one, Kerby incorporates all the fearsome elements into his illustration, but there is no happy ending. Tied up and hanging from the front of his ship, Sinbad is helplessly sailing into the stormy seas and into the arms of many monstrous creatures. So yeah, that's definitely not going to be a happy ending for Sinbad, is it? I love all the different creatures and characters we've got around here, and also the shipwreck. I really enjoy colouring wood, so I'm excited to do that. And then we've got kind of like we've got like a crown, and we've got jewels and all that good stuff. So I could see some sort of like some metallic watercolour paint or some glitter, just really something to make these elements sparkle and shine, which would be a really nice contrast, I think, against the mean creatures that we've got going on. Okay. So this, I think, would be the Little Mermaid. This could be Ursula. Maybe this is Ursula. And then we've got Flotsam and Jetsam. Okay, this is absolutely stunning, this page. So we've got the top half, which is absolutely beautiful, but then if we look sort of where her head is just about to go under the water, we can see that reflection there, and she looks very different. She looks quite evil in this one, and maybe this is, you know, where she's evil here. Maybe that is the same as this character here. It's her reflection. Okay, yeah, and we've got these two here as well. So this is 4 pages dedicated to the Little Mermaid. Again, look at all this down here. You've got like the treasure chests with the jewels and all the gold and the goblets and necklaces and everything else. And then down here you've kind of got the, you know, remnants of like a shipwreck. We've got a steering wheel here. We've got these really evil looking mermaids down here. Ooh, great big fish there. And then this is Ariel and Eric. And then we've got a ship over here in sort of like really stormy weather. So let's see. The Little Mermaid, pages 18 to 21. Kerby's version is even darker, depicting sirens inhabiting a frightening underwater world. When the prince does not fall in love with the mermaid, she leads him to the deadly waters. If she cannot have him, no one can. So this is her leading him into the deadly water. Wow. Such beautiful artwork. Oh my gosh. We've got the Ugly Duckling. So we've got him here. And then all these swans and other birds that are being sort of cruel to him, surrounding him. Look at him. And then I imagine this is where he becomes a beautiful swan. But if you can see, we've got sort of like feathers and kind of like skeletons, like bird skulls and things like that, and bones around him. So this is the Ugly Duckling. In Kerby's illustration, we see the duckling being taunted by all the other birds. When he transforms, he turns those who were cruel to him into nothing more than feathers and bones. So this is him sort of getting revenge on all of these other birds over here that was sort of taunting him and, you know, not making him feel good and being cruel to him. So when he evolves and grows into a beautiful swan, he sort of, you know, completely obliterates those birds who are being cruel to him. Oh, this is beautiful. So this is the Snow Queen. So this very much reminds me of Narnia, this one. And I can see this page done in sort of like really icy blues and maybe sort of like aqua sort of colours and purple and silver. I just think that would look absolutely gorgeous. So this is the Snow Queen, and she's taking the boy away, but she's kind of shooting like icicles at the girl who's trying to save him. She's on a reindeer. Yeah, that is beautiful. That is absolutely stunning. So in this one, Snow Queen, so yeah, I think, you know, we kind of all know the story really, I think, of that one. This illustration shows Gerda attempting to rescue Kai, but the Snow Queen casts shards of ice and a magic mirror at Gerda so that she too can be held captive. So this is shards of glass and mirror. And we've got like this sparkly sort of effect here around her. So that would look really beautiful to sort of add some stickles or some sort of shimmery or glittery watercolour over that. But yeah, this is just absolutely stunning. You've got sort of like her cloak there, it's all bellowing, and yeah, lots and lots of fun elements on that page. Wow, okay, so this is different for Kerby, I feel. There's a lot more heavier hatching on this page, and the line art is darker and thicker in places as well, which I think would lend itself beautifully to watercolour pencils, or just watercolour paint in general. Inktense pencils, anything like that I think would work beautiful on this. So the grandmother is giving Red Riding Hood a knife. Oh, she's kneeling on a rug. That is a wolf. And then if we look over here on this page, we've actually got like a skeleton. We've got a leg there, you know, wolf's leg. We've got paws. And then we've got like axes and, you know, a scythe and a spear and all that stuff going on. That was a very different outcome for the wolf. Oh, look at these pages. That is beautiful. So here we've got Red Riding Hood fighting the wolf. That is gorgeous, and I love the movement that we've got in this page. We've got her sort of pulling her hand back with that knife, ready to strike as the wolf is about to pounce at her. But then here, look at this. How stunning is that? I think this is our image on the back cover, isn't it? This one. Yeah, I think that is beautiful. So she's obviously slain the wolf. She's actually wearing his head, whilst she still has her basket of goodies for Grandma. So Kerby's version shows the grandmother preparing Red Riding Hood for a wolf hunt. The final striking scene shows Red Riding Hood wearing the head of the wolf that she has killed. Wow. I am loving how Kerby has put a twist onto these fairy tales. I absolutely love it. Okay, so here we've got the Three Little Pigs. And this is one really mean looking wolf. That is quite frightening, really. But then these pigs look mean. I mean, look at their eyes. He means business. Look, this dude here. The wolf is pinning their brother, and these guys are like, don't think so, not happening. Oh my gosh. So those pigs are fighting back. So the Three Little Pigs. In Kerby's dark retelling, the ferocious wolf engages in an intense battle with fire-breathing pigs. Oh my gosh. Fire-breathing pigs. I love it. Absolutely love that. So we've got the fire here from the pigs, but then we've got all this smoke and stuff around as well. And then we've got this house that was made of wood. There's the straw house and there's the brick house. Oh, brilliant. Fire-breathing pigs. That is incredible. Oh, this looks like Dia de los Muertos. Oh, that is beautiful. And then we've got two characters here. It kind of looks like it's underwater. But then on this part here, we've got sort of like candles and things. It's beautiful. So this is Llorona. It's from Mexican folklore. Kerby captures the horror, terror and grief underpinning the story in this haunting composition. So, you know, I'm not going to go through and sort of explain the stories to you. I'd love for you guys to be able to read that for yourself when you get the book. But yeah, I think this is from what I've just kind of had a look, it's a really sort of sad story, this one. But I love that we've got the depictions, you know, and all the information about the fairy tales and folklore that these images are from in the back. Because then if you wanted help with a colour palette, you could always sort of Google colour palettes for that fairy tale or folklore, or, you know, or legend, you know, and get yourself a colour palette if you're struggling. Okay, so this one, wow. So this is a vertical double page spread. So we've got this one here at the bottom. I hope you can see that. And looks like we've got all these birds here. We've got someone running through like really long grass. And then here we've got another two characters. For Year of the Snake, we've got a few snakes here. We've got a body here. And the head sort of comes up there. And then we've got another one here. But wow, that would take some work. I think I would definitely give the foliage a wash of colour with a watercolour or ink tints. That is absolutely beautiful. Got these really kind of weird looking plants here with like eyes in the middle. I think this is from the same as well. Let me just see. I'm sure this was, yeah, this is, so these 4 pages, the vertical double page spread that I've just shown you, and this one. These are all from Ibong Adarna, and it's a Filipino folk tale. Kerby leans into the dangerous elements of the story, focusing on the prince's treacherous journey and the bird's formidable power. So this looks a bit like a phoenix, doesn't it? But then it looks like we've got all these kind of statues down here. So maybe this is statues of people who have tried to fight the bird, and he's turned them to stone. The head of this, that looks like something from like Jurassic Park. I think that's brilliant. You've got this bird here sort of singing, his song is sort of travelling. And I can just imagine having a lot of fun with colours on these feathers here. It's beautiful. So here we have, I'm not sure, Alibaba and the 40 Thieves, this one. So we've got a treasure chest which is kind of bursting open. So we've got all these goblets and swords and mirrors and jewels and gems sort of bursting out from the chest, along with maybe like the lost souls of people here. And then you've got characters here that look like they're kind of being swept away or destroyed by this dragon here. And we've got a beautiful lady here. She's got lots of swords and a tambourine. We've also got a drum there. Oh, it's beautiful. Lots and lots of fun. So, in Kerby's artwork, Alibaba and Kasim reach the treasure chest only to be greeted by the haunted souls of those who have tried to steal from the cave. Morgiana performs a deadly dagger dance and summons the Falak, a mythological serpent with blade tips for teeth. So this is Morgiana or Morgiana. I'm not sure how you say that. But yeah, these are the lost souls. Oh, it's beautiful. And you can just see the expressions on their face. They look so frightened. And that's, yeah, she's doing her dagger dance, as they call it. Oh my goodness. This is Pinocchio. That is fantastic. And again, it's kind of different to what I've seen from Kerby before, but it's really lovely to see another side to his artwork. I'm just so in awe of this book. I absolutely love it. So here it looks like we've got a really scary looking Pinocchio, but he's got Geppetto attached to the strings there. So he's controlling Geppetto. As we saw in those title pages, we've got this beautiful border. So we've got Monstro, Honest John, Figaro, Stromboli, Cleo the fish, Jiminy Cricket, the blue fairy, one of the boys from the island. But yeah, look at all these heads on the shelf behind Pinocchio. Don't they look creepy? This one here, this little kind of like, looks like a baby's head here. Looks like the baby with like the mechanical legs from Toy Story. Makes me think of that. But yeah, that's a really, really awesome page. I can't wait to sort of colour the wood grain on here and the brickwork and stuff. I think that would be wonderful. So Kerby's twisted version shows Pinocchio as a fiendish character who turns the tables on Geppetto, controlling him with puppet strings. So yeah, he really has turned the tables, hasn't he? Oh, that's brilliant. This is Sleeping Beauty. So it looks like we've got Maleficent here, and this is Aurora as a baby, You can see she's kind of casting a spell over her. And then we've got the silhouette down here of a spinning wheel. But what I love is where we have Maleficent's wing coming up over here, it's then sort of like covering the fairies and all the other people who are trying to stop her from, you know, casting a spell on the baby. Oh, beautiful. And so these 2 pages go with that as well. So we've got Aurora here when she's in a deep sleep. I think what I would be tempted to do on here, because we've got flowers this side of her, but then we've also got some here on her face. These look like they're dying. The petals are all kind of falling off. I would be tempted to do, you know, some of the roses, do like this side pink, this side blue, to kind of incorporate, you know, those 2 colours where the fairies can't decide on what colour to do her dress. And then we've got Prince Philip here. But we've got like vines and things, but they've got eyes and they're sort of wrapping themselves around his horse and whatnot. And they've got claws as well, look. That's amazing. His horse kind of looks normal from sort of like the neck down, but the head, it looks like it's starting to turn skeletal here around his muzzle. So Kerby portrays the evil fairy's power over the godmothers. As the princess decays, the prince tries to save her but is seized by roots and dragged into the ground. Okay, so this is Aurora decaying on this side. So that'd be really cool to try and get an ombre sort of from like a skin tone into like a greyish greenish sort of colour. But yeah, I'd definitely like to do the 2 colour flowers on that one. I think that would look really cool. Oh wow, look at this. So we've got a knight here on a horse. It looks like we've got an eagle, but they've got like really sharp wings. Maybe like they're made of glass and they're firing glass at the warrior. And then we've got, I don't know if you can see, we've got a castle up here in the distance. And just, it's like reflected there. Can you see that? Oh, the attention to detail is fantastic. I'm not familiar with this one. Okay, this is the Glass Mountain. It's a Polish fairy tale. And Kerby's scene depicts the journey's unfolding horror with deadly obstacles cropping up every step of the way. So this is a mountain made of glass. So yeah, you could try lots of maybe like iridescent or, you know, things like that to kind of give it that shiny effect. Yeah, this would be a great one. And then you've got all these kind of skeletons down here. And people that have obviously passed away trying to get up the glass mountain. Oh, wow. So here we have Cinderella. Her carriage is looking worse for wear, isn't it? It looks like the pumpkin is kind of rotting. And again, the horses, they're kind of fine from like their neck, you know, their manes down, but their faces are skeletal. And then we've got Cinderella here dancing, but she's dancing with a skeleton. And you've got all the onlookers there. That is so ornate and intricate. But could you imagine that coloured? Oh, that'd be stunning. Okay, so that one's different. So Kerby has done the French version of the fairy tale. But the artwork shows the tale through a sinister lens with a decaying carriage and skeletal horses. At the ball, Cinderella dances not with her true love, but with death, as she will forever be at the mercy of someone else. So she is dancing with death. Oh my gosh. I think that is stunning how Kerby has drawn this. I would love to see him drawing more characters like this in other books. I think this is just above and beyond. It is absolutely exquisite. Okay, so here we have the Wizard of Oz. So you can see the tornado there breaking through Dorothy's house. And then we've got Cowardly Lion. She doesn't look very cowardly in this one, does he? Got the Scarecrow. And he has got a brain on a pitchfork. And then we have Tin Man. And he's holding a heart. He's got an axe covered in goodness knows what. I think we know. It's the red stuff. Yeah, so they're looking really mean in this one, aren't they? And this carries on as well. So we've got 4 pages dedicated to the Wizard of Oz. So here we've got Dorothy throwing water on the Wicked Witch. We've got our flying monkeys and things, but we've also got sort of skeleton army, skeleton warriors. In the movie, I do not like the flying monkeys. They really scare me. But I find this strange because we've got a few other witches here as well. And then you can see the Emerald City there in the background. I wonder why we've got a few other witches there. Let's have a look. What does it say? Wonderful Wizard of Oz. Kerby's Oz is an unwelcoming wasteland patrolled by a terrorising scarecrow, a tin man axe murderer, and a monstrous lion. In an epic battle to the death, Dorothy takes on electrified witches, evil winged monkeys, and skeletal soldiers. So electrified witches. Wow. They would look so cool with sort of like a glow around them to make it look like they've got that kind of like electric current, you know, around them. That would be amazing. Okay, I think this is Aladdin. Yeah, this is Aladdin. So then he stood all this treasure. Look at all those coins and goblets and trinkets and treasure chests. And then we've got a genie here. That is beautiful. I love how that is done. I'd definitely still colour that blue, like we know and love from the movie Aladdin. This one, we've got the genie there. This Jasmine, but they're chains, so she's got sort of chains there, sort of, you know, cuffing her hands together, and he's got one up here. So in Kerby's retelling, Aladdin is overcome with greed. He's surrounded by opulence and forces the genie and princess to attend his every command. So this must be Aladdin up here then, when he becomes sort of like, you know, he kind of he's morphed into like a prince, if that makes sense, by the genie. So yeah, he's got them chained up and he's just taking complete control. Oh, that's fantastic. Here we have Goldilocks and the 3 Bears, and here she is. It's kind of like the Red Riding Hood, isn't it? Where she's battling the wolf. We've now got Goldilocks and she's battling the 3 Bears. So we've got our porridge pots going flying. We've got the broken chairs. Again, I love the movement in this one. I think that is brilliant. So Kerby removes any innocence from the story, portraying 3 ferocious bears destroying their house and chasing the warrior Goldilocks as she brandishes a knife to protect herself. So cool. Okay, we've got another vertical double page spread. So this is Alice in Wonderland. So it starts with all the bunnies here. But can you see, as we move further down, they go from looking cute to kind of Some of them are biting at her and got teeth and looking really quite ferocious. And then we've got this page here, which is incredible. So we've got our Cheshire Cat, we've got the caterpillar, we've got playing cards. That is fantastic. I love that page. You can definitely have lots of fun with colour and texture on that page. Oh my goodness. And here we have the Queen of Hearts and of course the Mad Hatter. That is incredible. So let's see what Kerby has put here about these. Kerby maintains the iconic bizarreness of the original story, but paints a creepier portrait of the characters, turning Alice's surreal dream into more of a tormented reality. So the Queen of Hearts, we've got her sort of soldiers, they're here on her crown, and they're sort of guarded by this dragon sort of creature. Not quite a chimera, I don't think, but you've got, no, it's not a chimera. You've got sort of like a, I was going to say snake, but it's not. It's just like a really long, twisted claw thing with like almost like the body of a snake that comes around there. So that's okay. So this is like the tail of the creature, and it's coming around there. But just look at that. Yeah, I would so love to see more stuff like this from Kerby. And then on this one, we've got the Mad Hatter. And you've got, you know, the March Hare and all the other characters there. But they're sort of having the tea party on his hat. And you can see Alice here, and she is shackled to a pocket watch. How menacing does he look? Oh, so good. Okay, this is Snow White and Rose Red, and I remember this story from when I was a child. I used to have the little hardback Ladybird books, and yeah, this was one of my favourites. So you've got Snow White and Rose Red here, and from what I remember, a bear sort of knocks on their door. He needs help, he needs assistance, and they take him in and look after him. But I cannot remember an awful much more after that. But here it looks like we've got a little elf or a little goblin down here. And he just looks so ferocious in that. Let's see. No, okay, that's a different one. So we've got these two pages here dedicated to this story. It's a German folklore. Snow White and Rose Red are sisters named after the beautiful rose bushes that grow outside their cottage. The bear was cursed by the dwarf, and upon killing him, he transforms back into a handsome prince. Snow White marries the prince, and Rose Red, marries the prince's brother. But yeah, this is beautiful. So lots of red and white roses going on around the gals here. Oop, missing some pages. Here we go. This is the Pied Piper of Hamelin. You can see all these rats here. But it looks like he's got people following him as well. But look at their eyes. They look really, really creepy. And he has kind of got like a skeleton face. So yeah, that's actually really quite eerie. And you can see this kind of smoke coming out from his flute. And it's like hypnotizing them. So this is German town of Hamelin. It's infested with rats. Kerby's artwork shows possessed children and rats swarming around the Pied Piper. The flute is producing an intoxicating melody that is infiltrating the children's ears and leading them away. So that is kind of, he's possessed the children, and this is kind of like something that's coming out of the flute, and it's leading them towards him so he can guide them away from the city. Oh, so we've got the Nutcracker. This would be great for Christmas, wouldn't it? Oh my gosh, look at the Christmas tree. You've got skeleton heads. You've got skulls of like a stag there. You've got broken parts of nutcrackers as well, and just the heads of nutcrackers. We've got barbed wire and thorns coming in through. Oh, and this as well. It's beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, this is the same story as well. So here it looks like she's asleep, but we've got all these rats here, rats or mice. This guy here, he looks like he's not up to any good, doesn't he? And then we've got this really mean creature here. It looks like it's kind of got like lots of kind of like bear faces. I'm not bear, sorry, like lion faces, or I don't know, maybe it could be like an evil rat or something, but like big. The Nutcracker and the Mouse King. It's a popular novella fairy tale by E.T.A. Hoffmann. Kerby gives the tale an eerie gothic reimagining with a fearful, neglected young girl, a frightening nutcracker figure, and a series of disturbing, nightmarish horrors. So this is Rumpelstiltskin. Oh my gosh, there is spiders on the page. I am so arachnophobic, it's really bad. Yeah, I love the page, but I don't think I'll be in a rush to colour it. You see this one's got a skull on its back and whatnot. So he's here with the spinning wheel. This is beautiful. That is gorgeous. So, in Kerby's artwork, Rumpelstiltskin controls the girl, weaving a golden web around her, which he's done in this picture. As queen, the girl takes her revenge as he burns in the palm of her hand. So she's taking revenge for the way he's treated her, and she burns him in her hand. I think this is so imaginative and clever with the way that Kerby has put a dark twist on these fairy tales and folklore. I just think it's fantastic. I'm not sure about this one. Jack and the Beanstalk, maybe? The Boy Who Had an Eating Match with a Troll. It's a Norwegian fairy tale. Kerby's composition, at a glance, seems to juxtapose the human and supernatural elements of the story, but on closer inspection it is evident that violence exists within both humans and monsters alike. So he's kind of morphing them into one, and you can see all this kind of like rotten and sort of half-eaten food, you know, either side of them. And they've each got you know, the guy has got an axe. Excuse me. He also has a knife or a dagger there as well. The troll, he has some sort of like axe or club. It looks like it's carved out of stone. So he's got that. I think this is Beauty and the Beast. So here is where the evil sorceress casts a spell on him, on the prince, and turns him into a beast. So this is where she's casting that spell and he's morphing into the beast here. And I think this is where he comes across Belle's father, Maurice. So yeah, we've got the beast there. He's holding a rose. I don't know about the way that the lines just kind of stop and we've got like a white gap here, unless we just kind of use that to sort of highlight where he is. Yeah, we could do that, couldn't we? Let's see. Okay, and these 2 pages go with that fairy tale as well. So here, Belle is in the library. Look at all those books. The composition of that is beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. I love the perspective drawing that Kerby has given us on this. So yeah, she's being, you know, sort of fended off by these evil creatures here. You've got the candlestick there, you've got Lumiere. And here it looks like she has slain the beast. She's holding his head. We've got lots of kind of powerful women in this book, haven't we? We've got quite a few who kind of just take control and completely reverse the roles, which I think is great. It's a really, really good spin on the originals. So here it says, in Kerby's artwork, however, the story takes an unsettling turn. The castle and its beastly inhabitants are enchanted against beauty, and her heart darkens day by day. When she finds the dying beast, she finishes the job and stabs him through the heart. My goodness. This one, I'm not sure. It looks like my book is coming apart. Can you guys see that? It doesn't look like it's very secure here at the back. I'm hoping that's not where I've been sort of looking at the pages. But even still, it shouldn't have done that. Yeah, that's just, I know, something just to note. Like I said, I'm not sure if that was my fault or not, but it feels like the binding is actually coming away from the book, and I haven't been rough with it. This is sort of, you know, the first time I've had a look through it. All right, so this is The Little Match Girl. It's a Danish fairy tale. Kerby captures the longing of the girl and the shadowy darkness that will envelop her in death. So you've got our little girl here with her box of matches, and it looks like she's sort of having a vision, or someone is trying to come and guide her. But then we've got death just looming over her, and it looks like she's sort of fading away as well. I really like how that's been done. Yeah, lots of textures and things to play with on this one. You know, you've got sort of like, this almost looks dreamlike, this section here. So we've got a tree here, or foliage of some sort, and then yeah, we've got sort of like, you know, what looks like a sort of table there. We've got a candlestick, we've got some food. So yeah, lots of textures and elements to play with on that double page spread. Oh my goodness, here we have Puss in Boots. This has to be Puss in Boots. I love that. I absolutely love it. We've got a really nice amount of space around there, so you could always go in with distress inks or silky gel crayons, anything like that, and sort of do a background around the cat if you wanted to. And then we've got our characters here, but they're all sort of encapsulated in the shape that Kerby has given us for Puss's body. That is so cool. I love that. He looks so mean, doesn't he? He's not taking no nonsense. He's still got a ball of fur. Sorry, a ball of wool here. Can you see that? So this one, Kerby pulls out the dark themes of trickery and control that underpin this story, with the crafty Puss in Boots playing with the characters like a ball of string. So these two pages are Jack and the Beanstalk. Sorry, no, they're not. So these two pages are Hansel and Gretel. So we've got our house made of goodies there. But then if you look under here, there's a reflection of a really dingy, broken down, scary looking house, typical of like a witch's home. And then here you've got Hansel and Gretel. They've put the witch in a pot and it looks like he's kind of force feeding her a piece of cake. We've got like a fire going on under here, underneath the pot. And then we've got a background here, which is obviously made of all goodies. Then you've got sweets and whatnot. But then on those shelves with all the treats, we've got a couple of skulls, because why not? Why not? And some bottles of poison and whatever else. So yeah, this all looks like really delicious stuff. And then all here, that is the stuff that the witch uses. Kerby flips the narrative by creating a role reversal. The brother and sister instead endlessly feed the witch, giving her more and more food until she eventually dies. So they're basically force feeding her, and you know, until she passes away. Oh my goodness. Got another vertical double page spread. So this is the top. I think this is Jack and the Beanstalk, because I would imagine this is the giant here. And here is Jack tied up in the beanstalk. You can see we've got these really mean looking plants amongst all the foliage there as well. And then if we move down here, again, we've got, you know, another one of those plants. We've got a harp, and you can see as the beanstalk sort of, you know, travels all the way down to the ground where Jack dropped the beans. That is amazing. Definitely lots of green going on this page. Yeah, lots and lots of green colours on this one. Greens and browns. That's so good. So here it says, oh, it would help if I had the book the right way round. Okay, so here it says, if I can find it. Kerby's Jack meets a less fortunate fate, struggling against the enchanted vines and the giant's death trap. So it is very different, isn't it? And then here is the end of the book. So it gives us, you know, about each fairy tale and folklore that we've looked at throughout the pages in the book. So when you get this book, you can go through, you can read about the story. And as I mentioned earlier, my loves, if you want to sort of, you know, Google the stories, maybe find out a little bit more about them. And it might help you with the colour palette as well for your pages. But yeah, that is it. Absolutely fantastic. Like I said, I'm just going to be a little bit more mindful with mine, because it looks like mine is coming apart here, and I don't understand why. So yeah, just be mindful. Make sure you check your books when they arrive. But yeah, we've got obviously some of the images, like little smaller images of the characters here throughout this bit, and then that is it. That is our book. So I know that this has been a really long flip through, but I hope that you have enjoyed it, and you've maybe, you know, just learned a little bit more about the book, and it's give you a better idea as to what you can expect to find in this stunning book. I, for one, absolutely love it. I cannot wait to get started in here. So yeah, a huge, great big thank you so much to the team at Michael O'Mara Books for thinking of me and sending me this book, you know, giving me the opportunity to be able to share it with you. I really, really do appreciate it. And it has been such a pleasure to look through this book with you and also see how Kerby has put a dark spin on these fairy tales that we all know and love. So what I will do is put the links for Michael O'Mara Books, you know, the publishing, all of Kerby's social media information. I will put all of that down below, along with the links for Amazon, where you can pre-order this beautiful book. Don't forget, it is released on the 27th of March 2025. So if you want to make sure you get yourself a copy, pop on over and grab yourself a pre-order. I am a UK Amazon affiliate, so if you order from the Amazon UK link, just be mindful that that is an affiliate link and I get a few pennies back if you purchase through that. It doesn't cost you any extra, but all the other links, they're not affiliated. Like I said, it is just the UK one. So again, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to join me. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care, stay safe, my loves, and I'll see you in the next one. Lots of love. Bye.